Hey there everybody, it's Mike Dilisio, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Bombastic, coming from designer Robert Hovakimian and publisher Bitewing Games. This is one of the games in their travel line, which means it comes in this kind of travel case with a nice little carabiner attached, so you can take it with you on your grand adventures and play wherever you may be. This game is a riff on tic-tac-toe, which, if you're not familiar, it's a game that a lot of people think is not really a game. They say it can always end in a tie if everyone knows what they're doing. So how do you take a game that maybe isn't even really a game and turn it into a game? Well, let's head over to the table and I'll kind of show you how it plays. It's a very, very simple game. Plays very quickly. We'll come back here and I'll let you know what I think. Here you see everything that comes with the game Bombastic, a two-player riff on tic-tac-toe. You've got this nice carrying case that has a carabiner attached in case you want to go, mountain climbing and play the game on the face of a mountain. You've got the the rule book here. You've got 9 of these nice plastic tiles. 4 of them are going to be O's, 4 of them are going to be X's, and 1 of them is going to be a bomb. And then you've got a set of action cards. You'll have 2 on display. These would have been just shuffled face down at the beginning of the game, and then if you want to kind of remind the players who's who, you can orient this box towards whoever player is which. So let's say that the O player is facing this way and the X player is facing that way, all right? So let's say that the O player is going first. There's one of 2 things that you're going to do on your turn. You're either going to go for it, which means that you're trying for the win. You will show 3 tiles, either vertically or horizontally or diagonally, and if all 3 of those letters are the ones that are yours, whether you are O or X's, you win the game immediately. However, the 1 bomb tile here is the danger. If you show a bomb tile, then you lose the game immediately. So that's going for the win, is going for it. The other thing you can do is choose one of the action cards that are on display and do what the card says. So, for example, let's say the O player is going first. They look at this, they say, I'm going to do this action card. When it says peek, that means that the player who is using the card will look at it by themselves. They will not show it to the other player. Peek at as many as you want. If you see the bomb, you lose. So this is a push your luck card. So let's say the the O player is going to do this. And they decide, okay, I'm going to peek at this one. Of course, the X player wouldn't see this, but we'll pretend the X player can't see it. All right, there. Oh, that's one of our O's. That's good. I'm going to go here. Oh. Well, O, literally. Let's look at this one. Okay, well, the X there. Do we take a risk? Do we look at one more? Probably not. We know these 2 are O's. We know that that's not an X. All right, this would get replaced. And then the X player would go. Now, this is what's called a alarm card. There are 2 of these in this action deck. You actually can't have one of these in the opening display of 2. This is an alternate win condition. This says peek at 1 and go for it. All right, well, maybe they're getting a little concerned about that. They don't necessarily want to try to take a risk this early. So they say, okay, I'm going to peek at 2 and swap one of these with another one. All right, so this is what the X player is doing. They're going to peek at 2. They look at this one. Ooh, it's an X. They look at this one. Oh, all right, so they have 2 X's and they swap with another one. So maybe they know this is an X. They're going to go ahead and swap these 2. So they know they've got 2 X's right here. Now, they don't know what that is, but so be it. Comes back to the O player, and they basically are going to do the same thing. They're either going to go for it, or they're going to do one of these cards. Let's say, just for the sake of showing you how this goes, they're going to peek at 1, and then they're going to go for it. Well, they had looked, they knew these were O's, sorry. They knew that was an X, so maybe what they're going to do is they're going to peek, they're going to hope that maybe they've got something going this way or this way, so they're going to peek at this one. It's an O, all right? So now they're going to go for it. They know this is an O. They know this is an O. So you flip them when you're going for it. It's not an O. So it wasn't the bomb either, so they didn't lose. It would just continue. And you can continue like this until one player either, wins by going for it or doing an alternate win condition and being able to show 3 in a row, or at some point the bomb gets revealed and that would end the game as well. There's the bomb right there. It would also happen if you peek and you peek at the bomb, that would also end the game. Simple as that. That is Bombastic. Let's head back up and I'll let you know what I think. All right, so there you have Bombastic, a game that is a riff on a game that I'm sure we all know, tic-tac-toe, and that many people don't even consider to be a game because, for the most part, if people know what they're doing, it's going to end in a draw every time. And so, how to evaluate a game like this, right? A game that is based off of something that we all grew up with, that a lot of people don't even really consider to be a game at this point. How to evaluate it. And I think it's important. Why am I starting with that kind of premise? I think it's important to talk about that because I think when I'm looking at a game in a reviewer's, wearing my reviewer's hat, I look at that game kind of in what is it trying to do? What is this game trying to accomplish? And based on what I think, right? I don't know, I didn't design the game, but what do I think this game was trying to accomplish and how well did it accomplish that? And I think what Bombastic is trying to do is take something very, very simple, very, very familiar that people have kind of, look at with disdain now because it's, not really a game, like I said, and turn that into something that might be compelling, that might be fun, that people might want to interact with. And I'll bury the lead a little bit here. I think it does a very good job at that. So how? Well, let's just talk about it, first of all, as a package. The components are very, very nice. Obviously, this little carrying case is very slick. The tiles are very satisfying. They have a great tactile feel to them. They are engraved and painted, which is very, very nice. The cards are, basic, but very good. There's no complaints there. So the components are nice, and it helps with the game because it's a tactical game where you are feeling, touching, turning the pieces. And so this would have been much less, I think, satisfying cardboard. So I love that they went this route with it. And does it accomplish what it's trying to do? I think it does very well. So look, you're doing one of two things, right? On your turn, you are either flipping over 3 tiles and seeing whether it's 3 of either the X or the O, or did you reveal a bomb, okay? If you reveal a bomb, you lose immediately. If you reveal all 3 of your letter, you win. And you could have an instance where neither happens and you just flip them back over and keep going. So this is a game that is meant to be very fast. I mean, you could theoretically on the very first turn of the game go for it, although I don't really think that's in the spirit of the game. I don't know that most people would do that, but you could do it if you wanted to, I suppose. Really what it's trying to do is it's trying to push people, right? Give them these little bits of information, incentivize them to take some risks, to do some push your luck, and to have a big reveal. That's what this game is about. It's about a big reveal and seeing, everyone's like, oh, I'll flip over the first one, second one, either you got it, you didn't get it, maybe you flipped over a bomb, and then you know what? You're gonna mix these tiles up and you're gonna go again because it is so fast. It's a very, very quick game. I think the box says 5 minutes. That's probably very accurate. It could even be less than that. So I don't know that anybody's gonna play this once. You're probably gonna go at least a best 2 out of 3 on it and maybe even go more than that. It's very, very simple, but it has just enough, right? It has those push your luck elements. It has some memory elements. It actually has a fair amount of memory elements, but you're talking about 9 tiles. So even if you're not a memory fan, which I'm really not a huge memory fan when it comes to games, this amount of memory, sure, of course. It's very, very manageable. And so I think it does a really good job at what it's trying to do, which is to give players a very quick experience that has some potential high drama, high excitement moments, riffing off of something that we're all familiar with that no one really probably wants to do anymore, which is play tic-tac-toe. Well, now you've got something that you would want to do. And sit down, head across the table with somebody, hope that you get some big dramatic moment that turns into a win for you, or delight in seeing your opponent turn over the bomb and bust. And so Bombastic is a game that I give an 8 out of 10 to. Yes, an 8 out of 10, because I think what it's trying to do, it does very well, very successfully. It has a great production. That certainly doesn't hurt. But really, it's just, I think, does what it's trying to do. And so when you look at a rating of 8 out of 10, and you might look at some big heavy Euro that I've rated at a 6 or a 7 and saying, so you think this is a better game? I don't necessarily look at it quite like that. I think that this is very successful at creating the type of experience that it's trying to. And so for that, yes, I happily give it an 8, a seal of approval, and I think it's a lot of fun. There you go. That is Bombastic. My name is Mike Dilisio, and I'll see you on the next one.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.